Have you ever had a lingering sense that something was off about someone you know? It's a vague feeling, like an invisible darkness lurking behind their sweet words and kind gestures. In life, not everyone we meet brings joy or sincerity. Sometimes, harmful and toxic people are right beside us, disguised as friends, colleagues, or even our closest loved ones. Stoic philosophy, the foundation of calmness and steadfastness in the face of life's turmoil, teaches us how to recognize and deal with these mental threats wisely and calmly. When we face such people, we're not just protecting our souls from harm, we're also learning to maintain a balanced and unwavering psychological state, despite the negative influences around us. Today's video will guide you through 9 clear signs that help you recognize when a bad person is present in your life. These signs aren't just warnings. They are also valuable lessons in wisdom and resilience, virtues that Stoic philosophy always upholds. Join me in exploring these signs so you can confront evil with a steadfast heart, remain unshaken by deceit, and preserve the life of tranquility within your soul. Let's begin right now. Number 1. Recognizing toxicity. There's a question that each of us needs to ask ourselves: how can we recognize toxicity in a person when their outward appearance may seem perfect? Stoic philosophy, with its foundation of self-control and wisdom, suggests that identifying toxicity is the first and most crucial step in protecting ourselves from the negative influences of others. We often find ourselves in danger due to our inability to perceive the truth, especially when dealing with toxic individuals who can weaken our spirit and destroy our inner peace. Toxicity often hides behind many layers of disguise: a sweet smile, a kind word, or even a false display of concern. However, if we pay close attention, we will notice small but very clear signs, subtle criticisms, unintended sarcasm, or actions that make us feel uneasy. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, emphasized that we must not only be aware of the presence of evil, but also be strong enough to face it and stay away from it. Recall the story of Jesus when he faced the hypocrites, those who used false piety to cover up their sins. Jesus did not hesitate to call them out as hypocrites and warned of their toxicity. He taught us that the truth will always come to light, and only clear awareness can help us stand firm in the face of challenges. In our daily lives, we must also confront those who may use sweet words to conceal their malicious intentions. But always stay alert and recognize that not everything that glitters is gold, and toxicity often lies just beneath a perfect exterior. So, how do you recognize toxicity? It's when you find yourself pushed into mentally exhausting situations, when the presence of that person makes you feel constantly uneasy and stressed. Do you notice that some people, with just a word or an action, can turn your joyful day into a series of anxieties? That is the sign of toxicity that you need to recognize to protect yourself. Ask yourself, is there someone in your life who is hurting your soul under the guise of kindness? Remember, recognizing toxicity is not about condemnation, but about maintaining inner peace, a value that Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Jesus both uphold. Number 2. Emotional manipulation. Have you ever felt like you were caught in an emotional whirlwind without understanding why? There are people who not only know how to control their own emotions, but also skillfully manipulate the emotions of others to achieve their personal goals. Stoic philosophy, founded on self-control and wisdom, teaches us that emotions are something to be managed, not a tool for others to manipulate. When facing emotional manipulators, it's crucial to recognize how they turn your insecurities and anxieties to their advantage. Emotional manipulation often occurs subtly, manifesting as pity, excessive praise, or even veiled threats. A typical example in life is the relationship between a boss and an employee in the workplace. Some bosses exploit their power to manipulate the emotions of their employees, making them feel pressured to work overtime or take on tasks beyond their responsibilities. They might praise you in front of the group only to later ask you to work more, or subtly threaten that your job is not secure if you don't meet unreasonable demands. In such situations, you get caught in a cycle of anxiety, fearing job loss and feeling inadequate, leading you to comply with those demands. Think of Jesus, who taught us about forgiveness and love, but he also did not tolerate deceit and manipulation. When confronted by the Pharisees, who used laws and traditions to manipulate and control others, Jesus did not hesitate to expose their hypocrisy and called everyone back to truth and sincerity. He showed us that no one has the right to control our emotions but ourselves, and understanding the truth is the only way to break free from that control. In your daily life, have you ever felt that someone was deliberately making you feel anxious or inadequate so they could control you? These people could be colleagues, family members, or even friends, those who know how to exploit your weaknesses to manipulate your emotions. Remember, as Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Jesus have taught, true freedom only comes when you have control over yourself, and no one can manipulate your emotions unless you allow it. We're curious to know, who is holding the reins of your emotions? Are you letting others control your mind? Your story could be a source of inspiration and insight for us all to reflect and learn. Please leave a comment below and join the conversation. Number 3. Lack of self-control. When we face people who lack self-control, do we realize that they not only harm themselves, but can also create widespread negative consequences for those around them? Stoic philosophy teaches that the ability to control our emotions and actions is the foundation of a virtuous and peaceful life. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This emphasizes that self-control is the key to maintaining our spirit in the face of adversity. A person lacking self-control is easily swayed by fleeting emotions like anger, jealousy, or fear. When these emotions are not kept in check, they can explode into impulsive actions that harm not only the individual, but also those around them. Have you ever witnessed someone in a fit of anger say things they can't take back or act thoughtlessly, only to suffer severe consequences afterward? This is the result of a lack of self-control, a clear sign of insecurity and weakness within the soul. In modern life, we often encounter situations where a lack of self-control is displayed in a clear and concerning way, especially on social media platforms. Imagine a simple online debate about a hot social issue. Initially, people may start with calm and reasoned opinions, but when someone fails to control their emotions, they easily let anger or frustration take over, turning a peaceful discussion into a toxic verbal battle. For example, someone might feel offended by an opposing view, and instead of responding rationally, they react with vulgar language, personal attacks, or even spread false information to discredit others. This impulsive behavior can escalate the conflict, causing deep hurt not only to those involved, but also to onlookers. This not only destroys relationships between individuals, but also creates a toxic environment where negativity spreads and affects everyone's spirit. When we witness such actions, the question arises, are these people truly in control of their emotions, or are they letting their emotions control their actions? This lack of self-control not only damages personal reputations, but also spreads negativity within the community, creating a spiral of anger and insecurity. In the face of such situations, Stoic philosophy advises us to maintain our calm and not be drawn into the whirlwind of negative emotions. Only when we control our emotions can we maintain inner peace and build healthy, sustainable relationships. Number 4. Betrayal of trust. Trust is one of the most precious gifts we can give to others. It is the foundation of every relationship, from friendship and love to colleagues and family. But what happens when that trust is betrayed? Betraying trust is not just a hurtful act, it is also a breach of an invisible covenant between people. When trust is broken, it not only erodes our faith in others, but also shakes our confidence in ourselves and in life. Imagine you've trusted a close friend, shared with them your deepest secrets, and relied on them during your hardest times. But one day, you discover that this friend has used your personal information for their gain. Or worse, they have revealed those secrets to others. The feeling of betrayal is like a deep cut, not just on the surface, but within the soul. It leaves you feeling empty, confused and doubtful of all the other relationships around you. In the life of Jesus, we see a painful example of betrayal through the figure of Judas Iscariot. Jesus trusted Judas, considering him one of his closest confidants, yet Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. This betrayal was not just a personal betrayal, but also a betrayal of the trust that Jesus had placed in him. However, Jesus did not respond with hatred or punishment, but with compassion and forgiveness. This is a profound lesson on the strength of trust and the nobility of the soul, even when faced with betrayal. In modern life, betrayal of trust can happen anywhere. At work, when a colleague uses your idea to get ahead. In love, when a partner cheats for other temptations. Or even in social relationships when someone spreads false rumors about you. The question is, how will you react when betrayed? Will you let the pain and disappointment take over your soul, or will you find a way to forgive and move forward as Jesus did? Stoic philosophy teaches that even when betrayed, we should not lose our faith in people and life. The important thing is to learn to let go and not allow others' actions to control your life. Remember, the actions of others do not define you. Only your response to those actions reflects your true self. Number 5. Avoidance of responsibility. In our lives, we often meet people who seem to always find excuses or blame others for their failures. They avoid taking responsibility for their actions, creating a culture of blame and excuses around them. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of integrity and courage, reminding us that taking responsibility is the key to living a meaningful and virtuous life. When someone constantly avoids responsibility, they are not just running away from their problems. They are also preventing themselves from growing and improving. Without taking responsibility, they will never learn from their mistakes and will continue to repeat them, causing harm to themselves and others. Imagine a scenario at work where a project fails due to poor planning. Instead of accepting responsibility and learning from the experience, the person in charge blames the team, the circumstances, or even the clients. This not only creates a toxic work environment, but also hinders the progress and development of the entire team. Stoic philosophy teaches us that taking responsibility is a sign of strength and integrity. It is an acknowledgement of our power to influence our lives and the lives of others. When we bravely shoulder our responsibilities, we find an inner strength that nothing can shake. We grow, we learn, and we become better versions of ourselves.